The boil is an important part of the brewing process. There are several things that happen during the boil. First, there is the coagulation of excess protein. As the wort begins to boil, you will see it start to foam. Once the wort comes to a boil, that foam will rise and may boil over until it coagulates and settles out, which will take 5 minutes or so. This is called the hot break. Wait for the hot break to occur before you add hops. Otherwise, you will probably have a big boil over, which can result in severe burns if it splashes on your feet. The boil also develops subtle but important flavor compounds. These are the result of Maillard reactions, which are the non-enzymatic browning reactions that occur when we cook food, such as the toasting of bread and the roasting of meat and coffee. Lastly, there is the isomerization of the alpha acids in the hops. The heat of the boil changes the molecular structure of the alpha acids, and these isomerized alpha acids are more water soluble than the original and will dissolve better into the boil to provide bitterness. The longer the boil, the more alpha acid will isomerize. There is a trade-off between hop bitterness and hop flavor and aroma. While the alpha acids become more bitter with longer boiling times, the hop oils are boiled away. Therefore, the longer the boil, the more bitterness, but the less flavor and aroma. Short boil times will add some bitterness, but also retain some flavor and aroma. Adding hops after the boil, otherwise known as hot steeping, will contribute small amounts of bitterness, but retain lots of flavor and aroma. Cold steeping of hops, otherwise known as dry hopping, retains the most oil and is typically used in the fermenter. Multiple hop additions are used throughout the brewing process to provide a range of bitterness, flavor, and aroma. Okay, the hot break has occurred, the wort has stopped foaming, and we can add our bittering hops addition and start timing the hour. Hop boiling times are always stated with respect to the end of the boil, heat off. A 60-minute addition is boiled for 60 minutes, 30-minute addition is boiled for 30 minutes, and a 15-minute addition happens 15 minutes before the end of the boil. Hop steeping additions, also called whirlpool additions, are done after the boil when the heat is off. These additions can be steeped for 15 minutes to an hour, depending on the recipe, before the wort is chilled to the fermentation temperature. You may want to put your hops in a hop bag to minimize the amount of hop sludge you're going to pour into the fermenter. This is usually not a concern for most beer styles, but pale ales and IPA recipes can use a lot of hops. Let's talk about chilling. After the boil, the wort is sanitized and will stay sanitized while it is hot. But as it cools down below 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 degrees Celsius, it becomes susceptible to contamination by wild yeast and bacteria in the air. Chilling the wort quickly after the boil minimizes this risk. There are two options for chilling. The first option is simply to cover the wort while it is still hot and let it cool overnight. As long as everything is clean, you won't have any problems. The second option is to buy or build a copper wort chiller like this. This is an immersion chiller. You place it in the boil 5 minutes before the end to sanitize it. Then you turn the heat off and run cold water through it to chill the wort. It will take 15 to 20 minutes depending on your tap water temperature. You can stir the wort gently as it cools to help it chill faster. Okay, we have reached the end of our 1 hour boil, the chiller is sanitized, and I'll now turn off the burner and do my last hop addition. These hop steeping or whirlpool additions are done before the wort is chilled. Okay, my half-hour hop steep is over, and I'm going to remove the hop bag and start the chilling water. While the wort is chilling, make sure your fermenter and other cold side equipment are sanitized. No rinse sanitizers can be mixed with distilled water and applied from a spray bottle like this one. Other chemicals and sanitizers should be rinsed with distilled or boiled water. I know this seems excessive, but it really is necessary. Okay, our wort is as chill as we're going to get it, so I'll now go outside and turn off the chiller, and then we'll come back in and pour the wort into the fermenter. Now the cooled wort can be poured into the fermenter. If your recipe used a lot of hops, you may want to pour the wort through a sanitized strainer to filter some of them out. But since I used a hop bag for my hopping, I don't need to. The wort needs to be aerated before you pitch your yeast. Aeration of the wort supplies oxygen that the yeast need to synthesize nutrients that they need for growth. There are several ways to do this, but for now, the simplest way is to pour the wort back and forth between your sanitized fermenter and the kettle a few times. The large headspace here in the fermenter provides some of that oxygen as well. Actually, it doesn't really matter whether you aerate your wort before or after pitching the yeast. The important thing though is to get it aerated and not to wait more than a few hours after pitching to do it.